Okay. Do you think the advancement within technology is giving us more control or more freedom in society?
I'd say that I feel technology is giving us the illusion of freedom. It is, I feel that as companies develop more and more stuff like predictive algorithms and AI that's trying to predict exactly what we're looking for, they are predicting what we're going to say and then using that against us to advertise to us and to sell us more of their stuff so they can get richer and richer. And even though it looks like we had the choice to do everything, it's not freedom. It's them making us more controlled and more micromanaged, and every little bit of everything we do, from the speed that we click on something to how long we're watching a video, is all some sort of control and some data point that they're going to use in the future.
That's a good answer. Thank you. With us being Gen Z, having grown up with all the technology that we have, do you think that we're improving in technology or declining in society? If that makes sense.
Can I clarify? What do you mean by that?
Like, since we grow up with a lot of technology, do you think this, like, society's just improving or like declining because of the technology itself? Because, back in the day, basically nothing.
Yeah.
We literally had nothing. We didn't have the internet like way back in the day, but now we're engulfed in like everything.
Yes.
And it's still growing. Do you think that's going to improve society? Like, do you think there's going to be like really good improvements, or do you think it's just going to go downhill from here?
I think that there was a point, and I don't know what point that it was, but there was a point at which we crossed, and it's becoming too much. Too much technology is making things worse than what they were. And things have never been awesome, but it's making things worse, and we're forgetting how to do basic things. I talk to some kids, and they can't do basic math, they can't do basic spelling and all this stuff, and it's like, I had to learn that out of a book, and I had to learn all these things out of a book, and I had to do things off the internet. And now that all this technology's around, and it's the guise of, we're going to teach all these new things and people are going to learn so much, but really, what more do we know than people 30, 40 years ago? Like, there's a lot of stuff that we're losing because of this technology does it all for us. So I think that we are hitting a point that is just, it's becoming more than what's necessary for society,
Right. And so, following what you were saying, do you think that AI is going to be a very bad decline within society? Do you think it's going to take over what we have already? Because right now we're already at the point where AI is basically doing everything for us.
Yeah, I've never been a fan of AI. I'll make this very, very clear. The only AI model is the one I got in my cabeza right here, and that's the only one I will ever use, because I think that is. I talk to my classmates now. These are people that are going into the workforce in a year, and they're using AI to do everything. They say they put it under the guise of, this is a small menial task, they'll just have the machine do it for me. No, this is critical brain function that we're just throwing at a computer to do it all for us. Sure, maybe there's an argument to be made for, use this technology, it'll help you out and it'll make you more productive. But really, if we're losing those basics, just like we're losing those basics with all the other new technology, if we lose those, then when's it going to come back? When are we going to, if technology goes away, then how are we going to be able to, formulate an essay? I feel like that AI's already become too much, and I don't like it.
Does that make you concerned for Gen Z in the future with healthcare as well?
Extremely concerned. Extremely concerned. I'll put it like this. There's these people, and they are expected to perform at a high level. These people are supposed to be the nurses of the world. They're supposed to be very analytical and they're supposed to know what they're doing. They're supposed to be on it, and because it's up there. If we're going to put an AI model in there, and we're going to have that AI model take over for these small menial things that they should just be knowing, what's going to happen to critical decisions that need to be made like that, you know, like if you don't have it in your head and you got to look it up, and that could be seconds that could save somebody's life. Or it could be, if you're a teacher, like if you don't know this basic stuff and you don't know how to articulate these thoughts to your students, like what education are they missing out on? And it's just, I feel like taking out those basic steps takes out the very bottom part of that foundation. You need the bottom of that foundation to build any sort of anything. So it's just, I think that start is just very concerning to see that it's all kind of getting put onto computers. But yeah.
That's a really good answer. I never thought of it that way, though. This is my final question for you. I'm going to read it how it is. But since AI and robots keep like advancing and enhancing, like they're, yeah, it keeps improving day by day. It's getting better to where it doesn't really need fixes. Well, it still does, but still. How do you think the world is going to be like in the future? Do you think it's going to like take over? Because a lot of people are really concerned with like machines and like AI and robots are taking over people's jobs. Do you think it's going to get worse? And how do you think like people are going to be affected? Like, are robots going to like take over the world? Or,
you know, I've seen a lot of things, and I will never doubt the extent of human greed. This is all to make money. People are doing this because they want to make money. They want to build AI chatbots and all this stuff to replace actual human workers who are, at the very least, at the very smallest levels, they're typing something out to you to reply at a customer service desk, or they're putting together some sort of little widget in a factory. And it's, once we take away these small jobs, that eliminates all that salary that you have to pay out to somebody. And then the more complex we can make it, the more jobs we can eliminate. If we can eliminate teachers, if we can eliminate lawyers, that's even more that goes up to somebody at the top. And I think that this is not going to end, because the people who have the money and are going in control of AI are going to keep abusing that power until we do something, or we're all gone and unemployed. And what it looks like when we're all unemployed, I don't know. But if we don't do something about it, it will end up that way.
and how would you see it, like in your eyes? Do you think it would be like god awful, like hell literally, or do you think like we're just gonna be like a dog on a leash with robots?
You know, I'd like to believe that humans could work together, and you know, there's more of us than there are of them. I'm not going to say anything about that, but there's more people than there are people at the top, and there's more people to be controlled than the people who have the money. So I hope that people would actually fight back and do something about this. But I feel like, you know, if we're not going to push back on this, we'll be put on a leash like dogs. We'll be mined and mined and mined for data points until there ain't nothing left. And it's just, there's a lot of limits that could be pushed, and it scares me.
What type of limits?
What type of
like,
limits?
Yeah, like what are your what do you think the limits would be?
Well, what do our phones do now? They have access to our cameras, so they can see things that we're doing. They have access to what we type into there, so they know what we're looking up. They're listening to us right now, and like I said, the more algorithms and the more you look at things, and we're going to be farmed for data points, and these data points people are going to come up with it. They're going to be the most small thing, and they'll figure out a way to exploit that to get more out of us.
Yeah, it's a scary thought, though.
Just a little bit.
Well, thank you.
You're welcome. Thanks for having me.
Of course, I appreciate it. Right down. We can go.